Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back. New year 2024. I hope it started off well for you. I'm finally starting to feel a bit better after having COVID over Christmas. Not completely right yet. I've been just over 3 weeks since I got it now, and I'm still not quite right. But we're on the road anyway. So, pickups. Quite a mixed bag here, to be honest. Bit of this, bit of that. Some random stuff, really. Some of this stuff I wasn't really looking for, if I'm honest. I just stumbled across it when I was looking for other stuff. And it ranges from like vintage stuff up into PS4, so there's a bit for everybody. There's no particular order. I think we'll start with these two first. I'm not a big handheld gamer at all. In fact, I've sold 95% of my handheld stuff. I've only kept a 3DS. Everything else is gone. But I'd heard things about these games, in the sense that they were good, and I'd never tried one. And to be honest, I still haven't tried them, because I've had these a good 2 or 3 months and I still haven't tried them. That's how often I use a handheld console. Anyway, I've picked up Starfy, the first one, and number 4. There's obviously 2 and 3. But yeah, it's like a, well, from what I understand, it's like a 2D platform game where you control this Starfy character, which I think is quite big in Japan. But I think there's only 1 or 2 come out outside of Japan. I don't know which ones they are. I've got a feeling it's the first one. But I certainly don't think the later sequels came out. And I don't know if there's one on the Game Boy Advance anyway. But anyway, yeah, it's like a cutesy platformer from what I understand. We can get the glare off it. These are Japanese, obviously. This one of them has got like a glittery cover on it. I think it's that one. You can't see it on the camera anyway, but yeah, at some point I will get around to trying these, to see what the fuss is about, kind of. So, Starfy, anyway. Anybody played it? Let me know. Or shall I just not bother? Right. I think we'll do this one next. Now this is an original Xbox game. I will try and put footage up for these where I can. And I've picked up Dakar 2. I wasn't looking for this. If you've watched the Garage Arcade videos, sort of the back end of last year, you'll know I'd made an Outrun 2 cabinet using an Xbox, and I was just looking for other sort of arcade races I could use on this sort of Xbox cabinet. And I wasn't looking for this, like I say. It just cropped up and I'd not seen it before. And then I looked on, the other ones available, and it was the only one listed. And I seem to remember CX hadn't got it in stock either. And I've got a feeling it was around a tenner. So I thought, well, I might as well, take a punt. If it's rare, I'll move it on if I don't like it. But actually, it's quite a decent game. And it turns out I'd already got it on the GameCube, so I'm assuming it's probably the same game. I've not replayed the GameCube one to find out, because it's been that long since I played it, I can't remember. But yeah, this is a decent sort of arcade rally game. It's nothing groundbreaking, but really not bad at all. And like I say, it does seem as though it's reasonably rare on the Xbox, or at least it was when I bought this. So that's Dakar 2 anyway. So, kind of pleased to have it. even though, as I say, I'd already got it as it turned out, but never mind. It might actually be quite good on the cabinet, like I said, in the first place. But we'll see. Right, we'll do a couple of Wii games next. Now, I'd heard about this franchise, and it's, as far as I'm aware, it's a franchise that has never left Japan. For understandable reasons, really, when you play it. I just came across these two cheap, and I thought, I'm going to take a risk. They're both Japanese titles, obviously. So I've picked up these two. And if you're not aware, these are Kamen Rider games. I think, you know, Kamen Rider is a big franchise in Japan, from what I understand, and there's many different games within the, you know, Kamen Rider franchise being released on different things. However, these Wii games are like 3D beat 'em ups. Really not bad at all, to be honest. It really quite surprised me. I mean, it's very Japanese. All the options are in Japanese, so it does make life slightly complicated. But when you actually get the game on, it does seem as though it's fairly straightforward. Like I say, 3D one-on-one fighter, which you can play in like a story mode, or you can play what I do, just a traditional versus sort of arcade fighter, where you know, you got 8 or 10 rounds, whatever, to beat to finish the game. So I've just played it like that. Both games seem fairly similar from what I've seen, but really not bad at all. Like I say, it's very Japanese, as you'd expect, and probably why it's never come out or been released, you know, in foreign territories. But it was a pleasant surprise, because you know, I think I paid a tenner for both or something like that. But really not bad at all. If you like that kind of thing, you like one-on-one fighters, 3D, you know, Virtua Fighter style game, you might want to check that out, because it ain't too bad, really. We'll do the PS1 next. Now well, I don't know, it don't matter. We'll do this one first. And I've picked up Tekken 3. Nothing groundbreaking, as you're fully aware. It's a very common game. I've never been into Tekken, to be honest, and I've never played the third one. I think I played the first one originally when it came out. Really wasn't keen, and really never played it since. I think I played a bit of the second one, and then, like I say, I never bothered with the third one. And I think then I got Tag on the PS2, and again played a bit of that. Didn't, you know, I much preferred Virtua Fighter, and I pretty much never played a Tekken game again since. But then with this, you know, Tekken 8 coming out shortly, I thought I need to look back into Tekken. And I replayed the one on the PS2 and thought, actually, this is quite decent. And then I replayed the original on the PS1, and I thought, actually, this is quite decent as well. So I thought I need to get Tekken 3. So I've now got Tekken 1, 2 and 3 on the PS1. I now need to get the sort of later versions. I need the PS3 one. 6, isn't it, I think. And then obviously there's 7 and 8 coming out at the end of the month. So pleased to get Tekken 3, because it does seem decent the more I play it, to be honest. Now this next one, I've picked up Indy 500. I'm not sure if this came out anywhere else, to be honest. I don't remember it back in the day. And to be honest, I find a lot of these sort of PS1 era racers, they haven't aged particularly well. You know, I like the arcade style conversions on the Saturn, but I think beyond that, there's quite a lot of them where ain't aged very well. So I wasn't expecting great things of this, to be honest. It's not too bad. Quite an arcadey style, IndyCar sort of Formula 1 style racer. You know, it is similar to like a Sega experience. Graphics are quite nice, I think, really. Plays alright. It's got a really annoying sort of pit crew radio guy in your ear. Every time you touch a wall or a opponent, he says the same phrase over and over again. It does your head in. But as arcade races go on the PS1, I'd say it's one of the better ones. You've obviously got oval racing if you're into that. I love it, but it's not for everybody, I know. But you've also got normal tracks as well. So, you know, it's kind of a PS1 version of, I mean, it's not Daytona or Virtua Racing, but it's kind of like Virtua Racing, I suppose. Just done on a PlayStation. So, it was better than I expected, to be honest. It's alright. Right, next up, Neo Geo CD. Don't pick these up very often. Now this is a modern sort of release, and it's off one of these companies that, you know, they want your money now, and they'll decide when they send you the game that you've paid for. You know, might be 6 months time, might be next week, might be next decade. You know, I can't be doing with these companies. This is the last one I'll ever buy, because they do my head in. It's not for me. More power to you if it's for you, but I can't cope with it. Anyway, I've picked up Battle Flip Shot on the Neo CD. It's like a Windjammers type game. Overhead sort of sports, sort of back and forth, throwing to each other. It's good. I've got it on my multi-cart on the AES. But when I saw this, I thought it'd be nice to have a physical version, because I certainly couldn't be buying a physical on the AES. So that's why I decided to order this. And it was just ages ago. It's got to be at least 12 months ago. And you kept getting emails, oh, it's coming soon, it's coming soon, it's coming soon. Yeah, so he's fucking death. I tried to cancel it, but they wouldn't let me cancel it. Honestly. This is the last time I'll ever buy one of these. However, I'm glad to have it. It's still sealed, as you can see. I'm not sure I'll ever open it, to be honest, which kind of defeats the object for me, but it is what it is. I won't make that mistake again. It is a good game though, don't get me wrong, it's a good game. Right, we've got a PS4 game now, and I've picked up Blade Arcus. This is Japanese. I don't think this has come out in Europe. Sega one-on-one fighter, sort of girly style. Really quite good this. I'll put some footage up so you can see it. 2D one-on-one fighter. Again, it's all in Japanese, unfortunately. It's, you know, it's a fighter. How hard can it be? You do pick two fighters, and you sort of hold one in reserve. And it's sort of more weapon based than sort of punching and kicking, though you can punch and kick. Looks really nice. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but sort of competent and nice to have. So I'm pleased I bought that, to be honest. That's Blade Arcus on the PS4. And you do get a somewhat of a manual. It's not a proper manual, but it's something at least, which is nice these days. Right, Famicom. And we've picked up Donkey Kong. Absolute all-time classic. Love it to bits. I did have the Donkey Kong Classics cart, the American version, but I'm trying to get rid of all my American carts and just buy the Famicom versions where possible. Some aren't available, but however, Donkey Kong was, so I'm chuffed to have Donkey Kong, because whereas on Donkey Kong Classics you get more than, you know, there's 1 and 2 or 1 and... There's more than one game on Donkey Kong Classics anyway, but they're separate carts on the Famicom. So that was the last one I needed, so I've got Donkey Kong now. Amazing game, love it to bits. Then the next one we got is a nice purple cartridge, and this time the picture's probably giving it away. We've got Duck Hunt. Again, classic light gun game. Simple, but simple's what I like. Pure sort of old-fashioned light gun fun. Brilliant. So both of those two have replaced American cartridges that I had. And the great thing about replacing stuff is you can sell your old one and it didn't cost you anything. So brilliant. Right, the last Famicom game we've got. I wasn't looking for this. I didn't even know what it was, to be honest, when I saw it. I just saw it on eBay. You know, it was only a few minutes ago when I saw it, and it seemed cheap, and I thought, looks an interesting box. I had a quick Google, watched a quick video on YouTube, thought, yep, that looks alright, I'll give it a punt. And I've picked up boxed as well. I mean, I don't buy boxed Famicom games. Stu made an excellent point, actually, in his video, what was at the weekend. Mostly Japanese games are all in mint condition or very good condition, but for some reason Famicom games, there are much more of those about cart only than there are boxed. Bizarre, but he's right. So, you know, I prefer to collect cart only anyway, because I won't pay for cardboard. This just happened to fall in my lap, cheap, and it's in really nice condition, and it's quite a nice box as well. Like I say, I didn't know anything about it. Say-cross, not sure how you say it. But as you'll see in the footage, it's kind of a shooter. But you've also, while shooting opponents, you've got to sort of negotiate obstacles within the level, kind of like a racing game. If you've ever played Metro Cross, it's kind of like that mixed with a shooter. I really quite like it. Really decent game. So I'm chuffed to have it, even though I never knew it existed until I actually saw it on eBay. So I'm chuffed to have that. It's just a bit of a pain because it don't fit in. I suppose I could take it out of the box and store the box separately, I don't know. But like I say, I don't collect boxed Famicom, but they are really nice, don't get me wrong. Right, we've now got 2 Mega Drive games. These came off Video Game Imports, I think. First one I picked up is Junction, which is a puzzle game by Konami, as you can possibly make out there. I've never sort of tried this, or you know, even seen it back in the day. I don't remember it. In nice condition. It's a puzzle game. Basically, as you'll see from the footage, it's kind of like a maze game where there's like a ball that's rolling along a maze, and you've got to move the tiles to create a course for the ball to run around to get to the finish. And there's various obstacles, and it gets progressively harder very quickly, I might add. But it's quite a fun little puzzle game. It's nothing groundbreaking, you know, nothing that you probably couldn't do on the Master System, or you know, you don't need a Mega Drive to run it. But I quite like the game, to be honest. So if you like your puzzle games, it's only a cheap one. You might want to check it out. That's Junction. And then another puzzle game, which I've had in the past on, the PAL version. But I've got to say, I particularly like the Japanese box. So when I saw it, it was a reasonable price. I thought, I'm buying it. And I've got Clacks. Love the box. Absolutely love the box. And again, it's in lovely condition. Got the warranty cards as well. I'm sure you've played Clacks. It's a great game, to be honest. So it was a win-win, you know, with the lovely box. It's a great game, like I say. It's kind of like Tetris, I suppose, but it's more colour based, like columns, really. Kind of a mix of the two, I suppose, really, when you think about it. I'm sure you've played Clax, but it's really good, and it's obviously done very well on the Mega Drive. So, absolutely chuffed to bits to have that, to be honest. Right, now, 3 items left, and this is where we enter the new rabbit hole, as featured in the title of the video. So, I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but anyway, like many people, I picked up a Atari 2600 Plus before Christmas, whenever that came out. And as I've said before on other different videos, I never had a 2600 back in the day when they were, you know, current. I did play on one round a neighbour's house, but it never sort of drew me away from my specker. And I've had 2600s in the past a few times, and I've just never got on with them. Purely, or not purely, but partially because, you know, the picture quality is so bad through RF. You know, tuning your TV into the signal of what the 2600 produces, it was just never for me. Even though there were some decent games that I played, you know, I know the graphics are quite bad, but a lot of the games do play really well. You know, I think if you'd have had one at the time, it would have been amazing to be playing sort of arcade games at home on it. I'm sure it would have been awesome had I had one, but you know, for whatever reason, I never did. I had my Specky, and that was that. But like I say, I never gelled in, you know, more recent years with the sort of fragilities of the, you know, an original 2600. But then when the Plus was sort of advertised it was going to come out, I thought this sounds like a route that might appeal to me, because you haven't got any of the sort of poor quality picture problems. I thought I'm going to risk buying one, but of course it's opened up a rabbit hole of now looking to buy some 2600 cartridges, which I've started doing. Overall, I'm really pleased with the 2600 Plus. I think it's a really nice machine, and it does feel very similar to the Woody. It's not quite as big, but generally speaking, I think they've done a cracking job. It feels right, and it looks right. The only thing I can criticise is that 100% of the games don't work on the console, you know, the original cartridges. Which, you know, is fair enough. I've got no problem with that. You know, it's an emulation device. I've got no problem with it not being 100% compatibility. What I've got a major issue with is that there's an official list of games on the Atari website which allegedly work, and some of the ones they say specifically on the website that work don't, and I think that stinks. Really, really has pissed me off. In particular because the first game I bought for it was Food Fight on the 7800. Love this game, and you know, I sold my 7800 some time ago, and this was the one game I missed. So when I knew it was going to be working on the 2600 Plus, I thought, right, let's get Food Fight back. It's advertised as working on the website. Stu and Sega Zombie have both mentioned this don't work. I thought it was a dodgy cartridge until they said in their videos it don't work, and you know, that's the reason. Really annoying. There might be an update in the future, of course, and you can update the firmware possibly on the 2600. Not sure I've got the brain power for it, but nevertheless, we've got a copy of Food Fight. It's in nice condition. It's nice to have on the shelf, but it's just a damn shame I can't put it in the machine and play that physical cartridge. So I've put a bit of footage up off the V2 console so you can see what it looks like if you've never played it. Brilliant single screen arcade game, love it. And then the other two I've got to show in this video, I have picked up a few more. I'm not going crazy, I've got to say. I only want sort of a few classics, and in the most part I think I'll buy cart only, but there are some boxed ones that I do want. In particular, the Parker games. Again, Stu's been collecting these, and I love the boxes, and Clint has as well. And I thought I've got to get me some of them. I don't want them all. I only want the games that appeal to me. And the first one I got was Amidar. Like I say, I love these Parker boxes. Amazing. And these, I ain't going to get them all out, but that it is complete with a manual. But I love the Parker catalogues as well, with all the games. Fantastic. But it's a fairly simplistic game, as most, you know, the 2600 is fairly simplistic. But it's kind of like a Pac-Man clone, really, in a way. You've sort of got to fill the screening rather than eating all the pellets. It's kind of Pac-Man mixed with kicks, in my opinion. But it's a fun little game. It's quite difficult with a controller, in my opinion. But nevertheless, I'm glad to have it. And then the last one today. Really like this game, and it's my wife's favourite game. So I've got to get this. And we've picked up Cubit. And I actually think, although it's more simplistic, I actually think the 2600 version is possibly better to play than the arcade, purely from the point of view it's more of a 2D plane rather than on a 3D plane, which I think it makes it slightly easier to play. So absolutely chuffed to get Cubit in the collection. And another Parker box, and this one I normally take stickers off, but I decided to leave that one on. I don't know where it's from actually. It kind of looks like a boot sticker to me. But anyway, at some point it was £34.50 in the 1980s. I mean, Google that now, £34.50 in like 1982, we'll say. This came out. That's got to be 70, 80 quid in today's money, I bet. You know, games have come down in price, brand new games. You know, think yourself lucky. Back in the day, you know, us old bastards were paying mega money compared with what your games cost today. Eventually, somebody's paid £8.50. It's got reduced. So I thought I'd leave that. And there we go. So we're down another rabbit hole. And Stu Generation Pixels down it as well, I found out when I watched his video earlier. So, nice to know I'm not on my own. But there we go. Let me know what you thought of any of that lot. Nothing stellar today. Just some fairly normal stuff, but a bit of a random mix anyway. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you soon. Sayonara.